I want to discuss HDFC Bank. Uh, Clearly, that gap down has also gotten sold into that it opened at. Where does it head next? And purely because of the ramification it's had, not just for the Nifty, but Nifty Bank in particular today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Looking at HDFC Bank, yes, it is a pain right now. The support is now very steep down towards 1520. But the move till there will see Bank Nifty sliding towards 45,500 from here. So of course we will be cautious here. But as of now, I would take this to today's fall as just one day set off. Probably because of this. Not as expected results from HDFC Bank, and we might see some sort of reversal from here and again continue towards highs.
Okay, so that's a take. Just highlighting a few other counters as well. Take a look at Precall. That's seen quite a few of bunched up trades happening, and post that, that stock had seen a bit of a slide. So that stock should come up for you on the screen, though it's recovered quite a bit from the lowest point of the trading session. Sale is the other one, which is down about 5%, and Zomato and Loader Developers. These are some of the curious cases which have taken a knock of around 4 to 5%. While the names that still hold on to the green include names like Cochin Shipyard, up 8%. Capri Global up around 6%. We spoke with the management and they said that insurance business is likely to add 2% to the ROA of the company over the next 5 to 6 years. But since we're talking about HDFC Bank, one big bull for that particular counter has been Saurabh Mukherjea. He's been, of course, holding that stock for a long time, calling it a big compounder. But does he still hold that view today or not? Let's listen into his view.
I found the results to be solidly reassuring. I appreciate that some people are worried that the deposit growth isn't as high as expected, but my reckoning is that will come through. Sashi Jagdishan reiterated that this fiscal they'll set up 1,000 branches. I know that the previous target was 1,400. I reckon they'll get back to that number. Just to put 1,400 branches a year, opening 1,400 branches a year into perspective, a well-run regional bank like Federal Bank has all of 1,400 branches, right? So Federal Bank is a good bank. They have 1,400 branches in total. What HDFC Bank is aiming to do is set up 1,400 branches every single year. This year, they seem to be on track for 1,400. Operationally, the bank is in good shape. Deposit growth, whilst less than what market was expecting, is still on an incremental CASA basis. They're pulling in 15% of India's CASA, which I think is very impressive. So we remain happy with the position. We think something like 8, 9%, perhaps even close to 10% of our flagship product is HDFC Bank.
Continues to be a small spot because we have broken below the mark of 21,600 now. So an important mark being broken on the Nifty, and the cut on the Nifty Bank has exaggerated to over 2,000 points. Even if you look at the HDFC Bank stock, that's taken a slide of over 8%. There's a 4%, 4.25% cut coming in as far as Nifty Bank is concerned. That's a very, very, very sharp number that we are looking at. HDFC Bank is down about 8%. Nifty, of course, has taken a bit of a slide, and it doesn't look like there's any buying on dips happening at this point of time.
There isn't, because look at the rub-off that HDFC Bank, Anisha, is having on the other private banking majors, right? Kotak is now around 3.5% almost on futures. Axis is heading in for a 3% decline. There's ICICI Bank, which is down 2.5%. And, similar is actually the state with the big boys like SBI too. That's also down a good 1.5% or so. And remember, all these are slated to come out with their numbers. HDFC Bank has been the first of the lot to do so. So really, and I would definitely want to revisit all those calls which end of last year had a buy on these private banking majors. So let's see where they head from here. But I think we have Anand Tandon back with us. Yeah, we do. Anand, apologies for that audio, but you were making a point on HDFC Bank and what to do now with the weakness that the stock is seeing.
So obviously, as I said, you are looking at an issue where the deposit growth is slower than what the market was anticipating. And more importantly, it means that the credit growth, which is actually doing quite well, has to be slowed down a bit. But on the other hand, the extra capital that they have had to keep has peaked out, and therefore they will start to come down. The fall that they had already projected, which had been forecast by the management, that the ROE will have to fall by at least 50 basis points. has already started to play out. So while it may take a little while longer for it to go back to a sensible growth number, I would still argue that you will get a reasonable double-digit growth from HDFC Bank going forward. And this kind of fall, we keep hearing there is a lot of money on the sidelines. Well, even if you had assumed that before this fall there was only a 10% upside, now there is a 15 to 17% upside. So there is no particular reason that one should be not looking to buy in now, especially if you have a bullish view. Of course, if you are skeptical about the market, that's a different point of view altogether. But I would still think that a bank like HDFC Bank falls part of your core portfolio. There is not much that you can do other than to trade off at the margin.
Yeah, but it's just that the conviction seems to be missing because despite that slide, there are no buyers which are standing despite the liquidity and the lack of ideas that everybody keeps talking about. But since it's such a sharp fall, let me go back to Nooresh and get his ideas as to what are the levels to watch out for Nifty Bank, for Nifty now, and also, of course, HDFC Bank. Nooresh, your view?
So starting with Nifty, the recent swing low was around 21,400, 500 levels. So that should be a price point to watch out for. Then on Bank Nifty, we've broken the recent swing lows. The next one is at 45,500. So that should be a price point where we should see a reversal from. HDFC Bank, we are back to the lower end of the range. If we go back to the last almost 3-4 years, every time it has gone to 1,700, it has flopped. 1,500 is the base zone. So I would expect 1,500, 1,530 to be a zone from where it should reverse.
That reverses or not, because it's very close to its 52-week lows as well, which is 1400 thereabouts. The stock just meandering at the lowest point of the trading session. 150 points contributed by HDFC Bank alone. Even Reliance has actually given up. At the start of the day, Reliance was holding in the green. It was batting for the bulls. Now that also has completely reversed course and is at the lowest point of the trading session. Over a percentage point cut coming in on Reliance. It's only IT, if you must, and Infosys and TCS and HCL Tech, which are batting for the bulls right now, because these three stocks are holding up in the green. But Shilpa, let me get you in on other stocks which are there in the market as well. Let's talk about IEX, that's down about 11%. And then, of course, you also have Zomato, which is taking quite a bit of, knock. Obviously, the entire market is under pressure, but just singling it out because it's a 5% slide.
Talking about IEX is also at a very crucial support at around 144 to 143 zones. So if these levels are held on to, then we might see a reversal back towards 155 to 160 zones. The reaction is to the news of, making a standardized price all over the country, that is where the beating down is taken by the stock. So this level should be held on now, and we should look again for targets of 155 to 160 zones.
Okay, so that's the take coming in on IEX at this point of time. In fact, we'll do one thing. We'll take a short break on the show.